Marcus.
Present. Not present.
Director Rob.
Present, not here.
Director David. Director Marty.
Here.
Director Tamer. Director Mario.
Present.
Director Fleet. Student Liaison Alex.
Here.
Nikki. Vice Chair. Senator Carlin.
Present voting.
Senator Casey. Senator Dana. Here. Senator Chris.
Present.
Senator Aaron.
Present.
Senator Hillary.
Here.
Senator Crystal.
Present.
Senator Kyle.
Present.
Senator Lashea.
Present.
Senator Nicole.
Present.
Senator Lenisa.
I'm voting.
Fellow Toby.
He said be late.
Fellow Aradna.
Present.
Fellow Theo.
Here.
Fellow Leslie.
Okay. Since Senator Casey isn't in attendance, he will be coming in late, but until then, Dio, you get voting today. All right. Moving on, is there any objections to approving the previous minutes? Okay, seeing none, minutes are approved. Are there any objections to the approval of the agenda as presented? Seeing none, agenda is approved. Is there, oh, sorry.
Oh no, for community input.
Yes.
I'd just like to address everybody, in particular the e-board. Please be here on time, guys. It starts at 1 o'clock. That's not a tentative time to the problems that you face in e-board meetings. So, just like to see you guys on time.
Is there any other input?
I don't know, this is the last meeting that you guys have going in the press, so anything that you want out there, just, I don't know, put it in new business or the gavel pass, so I don't have to get with you afterwards independently.
All right, moving on to guest speakers. Do you have any guest speakers? See. Move on to officer reports. There is no report for the president. Currently, just to report on his condition. He is doing well. He is responsive and he's resting. Moving on to my report, I'll be talking about the SAM conference later on, also the bus wrap, and the water bottle filling stations are going to be installed during the spring semester. Moving on to the Director of Administrative Affairs.
No report.
Okay. Moving on to Director of Financial Affairs.
Forgot the USB today, which has the budget on it, but the most important accounts I know of is the student funding board account is a little under 5, so it's like at 4,800, and ACP is at 8,800. So those are the two main budgets that I wanted to share with you. We had some allocations yesterday that we passed, including ISO, International Student Organization, two of those. 3 that were postponed for further details, so those will be reviewed next week. I think they total another $2,000 more. I know we have a SAM budget on the table for today. Just be cautious about how much you're spending, and I mean, we might be able to move around some director money, and I'll talk to President Pappen about what we should move or can't move. But that is all from my report.
Moving on to the Director of Government and Legal Affairs. Okay.
Well, pretty much day to day, Unified Student Code. He only got any other revisions from Senator Dugas, so just be ready to pass the amendment and dissolve the ad hoc committee after the fact. So 2 motions there. One to approve the Unified Student Code as amended, and then one to dissolve the ad hoc committee for the revision of the Unified Student Code. That's it. Oh, certificates. We still, for some reason, can't get the lady in printing to open that file. She can't open it. But I mean, it won't open on other computers either, so it's a mess.
Okay,
So
we'll see what we can do about it.
we'll get it worked out by next Friday.
Alright, moving on to Director of Student Organization and Partnership.
For the clubs that don't have their constitutions on file, I have contacted them multiple times throughout the semester. Student funding holds have been placed on their accounts, so they are held from getting money from student government until they update their profile, and then I'll be back in new business with a new club.
Moving on to Director of Student Relations. Would anyone on this committee like to give a report?
I will. There's not really much of a report, I guess. Best day ever. It's next Thursday. Make sure you guys sign up on the sheet. We have about 6 open slots. So, and not all the Sunders and e-board have signed up. So we really need the help. Student Relations can't be there all day. We all have exams, so that's the report from Student Relations.
Moving on to Director of University Affairs.
All right, guys. I've completed the graduate scholarship application, and so now I'll be sending it out. We have the undergraduate application as well completed. I got that from Jesse earlier today, so we'll be sending it out so we can apply for the scholarship. All right. Well, other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Director of Web Development. Does anyone on this committee like to give a report?
I don't even think it's met.
Sam Liaison.
No report.
Vice Chair of Senate.
Hey, a couple of things. Motions for today, of course, Unified Student Code. Did everybody read the email about the bus wrap? I sent that out as soon as I got it on yesterday afternoon. I didn't really get a response back from people, so I wasn't sure. Just to remind you, there's a possible 62 or 4,200, looking more like 6,200 from what President Pappen said. Also attached to that were the pictures too, so y'all could actually see it. So that's another possible motion on the table for today to approve the budget for the bus wrap, or excuse me, allocation for the bus wrap. Other motion. Oh, resolutions, Theo. I'm assuming you'll make the motion for those? The 3 resolutions for the CSC faculty? That is another one we have for today.
Yeah, I think that, isn't that in new business, or is that?
It's
No,
in-
that's
it
in
should
old
be in old,
business.
yep,
Yeah, it's
yep,
under
so-
I, okay.
Yeah, that's the other one for today.
Did he get the changes made, and there was another typo I had already sent to him about, at the bottom, it had the wrong date, so I assumed that he would update the dates when he has them printed. Or did you say they were having trouble printing those? Or are you talking about other certificates? You said something about there was a problem with the certificate.
Oh, no, not yours.
Oh, okay.
No, these are student government, like, participation student, you said that.
Okay.
But yeah, also just another reminder, sign up for this, sign up for this. If you weren't here to sign up on Monday, that's why the sheet is here, so your name can be on it, because that is happening on Thursday. Also, I spoke with Dylan Thorne, that's the Director of Student Athletic Association. He CC'd me in an email that he sent out to all of the athletic club teams to try, just to let them know about Best Day Ever. So hopefully they'll be coming out to help also. and run some games, like maybe a hockey shootout, football toss, something like that. Maybe lacrosse will come out. So I look forward to hearing from him possibly Monday, Tuesday of next week at the latest. And I guess that's about it. Yep.
Question?
Yes.
The bus wrap, when I got the email on that, all it showed was just, it didn't show the picture of how it was supposed to be rendered. All it showed was just what part of the bus was going to be covered. So
I would
was there something else that
encourage you to direct
got
it.
forgotten or?
What, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what was?
Oh, okay. Well, the email that got forwarded regarding the bus wrap did not have any kind of rendering of how it was going to look. It only had an outline of where it was going to go.
It showed what it looks like on the bus.
No, it didn't. You better take a look at
He's
that.
looking for actual.
He's talking about the actual
pictures.
picture of what's gonna be on the bus. It's not in the email, like the actual, like what is going on the bus, this is being put, like it's not, it doesn't show that in the email that we
What?
got.
Just to tell you that I
It just
did
shows-
look
Oh,
at it.
okay, well, maybe
That's what he
the wrong attachment went through then.
Yes.
We can pull it up.
I can forward. I have 2 different versions
Yeah.
of the email, and I know I've seen it, so
Yeah.
I can forward the correct attachment.
Like with the actual pictures of us.
So it doesn't mean you're not gonna see a bus
Like a
on the street,
rendering.
but the
Yeah.
picture was
Yeah,
on.
we'll pull it up.
All
We'll
right.
pull it up.
All right.
That's-
I'm gonna yield my time back to you.
My question
I
is
think
for the
hers
Vice
is
Chair.
to you.
Oh.
Vice Chair Nikki, I noticed that there was only one person to serve food on every hour, and I thought the food was being set up so that it was like more.
Well, these are all the people who signed up on Monday. Again, that's why the list is here. So hopefully more than one person will be on food.
How many
who
do you
hasn't
need per
signed
hour?
up yet. Pardon?
How many do you need per hour?
Yeah, that's not my committee.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Tamer and the whole committee that did Best Day Ever would be able to tell you exactly how the setup is. I was just charged with making the task.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, if there's no more, we'll move on. Advisory report?
Good afternoon, everyone. I have these papers here. Let me just backtrack, hold on. Good evening, afternoon, whatever it is.
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
In regards to your stipends, I figured out a better form of payment. So instead of going through the rigorous paperwork of people pay and or HR, for some of you who have active appointments, I'm going to issue Visa gift cards for everyone instead. And you can use these Visa gift cards just as you would cash or a debit card or anything like that. So I haven't purchased them yet. I'll be doing that more than likely this afternoon. But before I can issue those cards out, you have to fill out some required paperwork. So what I'll do is anytime next week, you can stop at my office. When you're ready to pick up your card, I'll swap you your card for the required paperwork here. If you want, I can pass it out while you all are here. And then you could just bring that in whenever you can. But just make sure that you do bring it back, because I can't give you your gift card without this paper. Okay. Also, I spoke a little bit with E-Board about this earlier this afternoon. Touch base with Vice President Pappin about this, but it's going to require the Senate's approval to do this initiative, and we have to move on it fast. How many of you are familiar with Joanne Shabazz in the academic advising?
I know her. She's a great lady.
Okay. Joanne is retiring this year after 40 years of dedicated service. Keep in mind that the campus is, 58 years old, if that. My math may be off, but just keep that in mind, that she's been here just about as long as this campus has been recognized.
Yep.
And I think that it's appropriate for student government to provide some type of acknowledgement for her.
Be happy to make
Fellow Gantos actually gave me the idea. He didn't know about it, but in a minute, he will present to you the resolutions for the faculty members in computer science and engineering. And I think that it's appropriate that we do something very similar for Joanne Shabazz in preparation of her retirement later this year. I know that we don't have a city meeting on Monday, correct?
I had to schedule one. We don't have a room reserved either.
And we don't need to have one. But what I'll do is work with anybody who's willing to help me write it. We'll have it, thank you, Thea. We'll have a written draft of it ready for you to review on Monday. And then next Friday during our last meeting, we need to go ahead and vote on it. So without saying, I need you all to check your emails. I need you all to read this shit. And that's on tape. And I need us to move in a very expedient manner.
No problem.
All right. Any questions for me?
No.
Sir?
Did we look at everybody that's retiring? Is that where this came from? Because I do believe that there was a suggestion made that we check with all the different departments.
There
make
is.
sure that we're not leaving anybody out.
There is, and we will be leaving people out without certainty. But I can say, from me speaking from a fellow as an alum and as a past student here, that I wouldn't be standing before you as the director of student life had I not came across Joanne Shabazz. It's just that simple. And there are so many others on this campus, in this community, that work here, that attend school here to this day, that will be SOL had they not ran into Joanne and Joanne helped them along the way. So I think that, we may, ultimately leave out some individuals, for instance, Virginia July, who was very instrumental in helping student government. But at the same time, Virginia July has an award named after her at President's Ball and received other accolades. I think that this would just be something that we can do to really highlight and celebrate what Joanne has done. Another individual that's retiring is Peggy Vaughn. I don't know if you guys want to do something for her or not. I don't know. See? So, if this is something that you really want to do, we got to just move on it. We got to move on it very fast. But I think for right now, we will definitely work on getting Joanne through. If we want to put names to other folks, we can do that as well.
What about Dr. Young?
He's not retired. Yeah. Okay. Take the camera off.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
About that? Do we have some information about her, so that maybe you could get that to me and then I can help you write it?
Yes, Amy Moss, the director of the Academic Advising and Career Center.
Okay.
I spoke with her about this idea. She loves it, and she will be providing us with some written material to utilize.
Perfect.
Okay. Any other questions? Cool.
Moving on to university committee reports. Does anyone have a university committee report? Seeing none, moving on to ad hoc committees. Unified Student Code.
I guess since David. Well, everybody was brought up to speed on the revisions and saw all of the highlighted revisions for the Unified Student Code on last week. So, can I finish, please?
I never got it.
I sent it to you. I sent it to everybody twice.
With the index? I didn't get that.
The index, yep, 2 versions sent out on Thursday, March 29th at 9:55 p.m. CC to everybody in this room. That's all student government. That's actually why I didn't resend it on Monday. But I sent the message letting y'all know when y'all got it, so y'all could find it again. But at any rate, so what you saw there is the document that is to be approved today as revised. And what you saw on last week as well, in meeting on Friday when David was here going through it. So I would just like to entertain a motion to approve the Unified Student Code as revised.
I move to approve the Unified Student Code as
Second.
There's been a motion on the table, probably made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
What are we doing with that, like, all that last section? Are we gonna delete it? Are we gonna put it in a different document? Are we gonna leave it? Was that a suggestion that he made? What did he say?
He hasn't moved that out of the document.
So it was just a suggestion. All right.
Yeah, and I resent it to the three fellows, you and Toby or Ronjoy, and I resent to Leslie as well.
Can you do this?
Yeah, please.
Well, I never received it. I wanted to make a point to the chair. I never received it. Did any of the other fellows receive the Unified Student Code as amended?
Was there any discussion given to the sender? Because did you receive an email saying that you were supposed to have received that? You've received no communication about the Unified Student Code?
Not since April 2nd.
Okay. And on Friday, did we all know that we would be talking about the Unified Student Code today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so follow-up goes on both people. I think that blame goes to all. Yes. Back to the motion on the table.
I was just curious if, because I didn't receive no feedback about the comments that I had made.
None of those really got put in, that's why.
Okay, if we wanted to bring that up or anything, would we just have to wait for next year or anything to do that? Or?
Yeah, literally would go into spring semester. If you think there's anything else, like those revisions just weren't accepted, by the person revising the document.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you really think they should be there, you can bring them up again in the spring. I want to keep discussion in order.
Okay, is there any more discussion on the motion?
Oh, the motion? No.
Okay, all in favor of approving the Unified Student Code as what? As revised, yeah. All opposed? Abstaining? Alright, motion passes. Is there anything else on the Unified Student Code?
I move to dissolve the Unified Student Code ad hoc committee.
Second.
Then a motion to dissolve the Unified Student Code Committee, and has probably been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of dissolving the Unified Student Code Committee? All opposed? Abstaining? Okay, motion passes. Are there any, is there any more business for the Unified Student Code? Oh, sorry, it's gone, never mind. Sam hosts Planning Committee. Well, I guess I'll jump in on this. So we need to have a budget approved today so that we can do this because it's in 2 weeks. We have the entire layout in the student government office, and as well as I think, did we lay that out with the minutes? We'll attach the agenda with the minutes today. So basically, we ran you through the agenda last week, and it's stated the same way. We are going to have $506 for the rental space at the FIA for the mixer with the community and the members from SAM, and then we will have about $5,000 total, including this $506 for food for printing material, for transportation, and that's a rough estimate. We don't have the full estimate. The dining is supposed to have that to me by later this evening. So what we don't use, we would give back. But we're looking at about $5,000 to make sure that this event goes off smoothly. Are there any questions?
We already set that aside, correct? We haven't? And that's $5,000? And then also the bus wrap, have we set any money aside for that?
I checked from last week. I said I was gonna check. There's nothing. I thought I said it was.
So are we going in the hole then?
Yeah, it was,
Not really. I mean, we have another 1,800 in emergency fund plus Softboard has given up their $1,000. And I mean, we can scratch money together from different accounts. And keep in mind, you still got next year's budget you can tap into technically. So.
You sure about that?
So sure.
No, think about it.
Yeah. So
They did it to us, so I'm positive about that.
Alright, that's the only question I had. So we're looking at like $10,000 that we haven't accounted for. Sam's already been, I know we put money aside for the best day ever, and I thought we did for Sam at the same time.
We haven't, because we never voted on that.
I only actually take that into account when you guys,
was 30,000, but that doesn't,
That's all I have.
include everybody who
Okay.
didn't get.
Point of order, is there
Yeah.
a motion?
There's no motion. Is there any more discussion? Is there any more questions about Sam Planning Committee? I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the budget.
I move to approve, what was it, $5,000 per second?
Okay. There's been a motion on the table. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. Motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the main motion?
I've got a question for Rob. Like, without tapping into the budget, next year's budget, are we sure we can afford both of them, the rest are at
one or the other.
one or the other? What would be the difference once we take the 5,000 out?
Out of ACP, like 3,300.
And then we could add that 1,800 plus 1,000?
Then you'll have 1,800 plus 1,000 from South, that's 2,800. Pretty close to getting the bus wrap also.
Okay, 1,600, we should get.
But that'll drain ACP out, and keep in mind, you need this account for the rest of the year. There's no more stipend or nothing till fall.
Okay,
So you gotta be good all the way till spring and summer.
It goes through spring and summer.
Spring and summer,
Oh, it goes all the way
yes.
through.
So,
Yeah.
I just urge Senate to keep in mind that when what we walked into at the beginning of this administration, it's not, I don't wanna drain next administration based on something that we're like, oh, well, we have to get this bus wrap along with Sam. Sam conference is something that has got to happen. We are hosting it, there's no going back, that's going to happen. This $5,000 has got to be allocated. Whereas the bus wrap, that doesn't have to happen. I say if we have to choose one or the other, Sam conference has got to happen. I yield, so.
Rob, I'm wondering how many directors, because I know we have like, what seems to be a lot, we only have like 28,000 in the budget, but I know that the directors sometimes don't give you the receipts. So what do you think, like if, I don't know, have you seen that the directors are spending their money and just not giving you the receipts, or do you think that there's money in those accounts that we can tap into? I realize Marty hasn't, obviously, but.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we can scratch these accounts, and the audit would help. So if I'm trying to get that out there as fast as I can with finals and everything. I'm trying to get a mass email out there so that I can get all these receipts back, and then I'm going to have Senator Colbert tally them all, and then give me the totals